Hey everybody, and welcome back to Investment Money, where we talk about various crypto projects. Before we begin, I want to let you know I'm not your financial advisor. I do not provide investment advice on this channel ever. But with that being said, we want to welcome you back to the Dexscreener series. So if you're new, thank you for joining us in the series. Sorry guys, we'll just open up some water. And if you're somebody that's returning, we certainly thank you for joining us, or continuing to join us each day in the Dexscreener series. Now, as a new person, definitely go ahead and go back to day one of the series, just to go ahead and just get the introductions and kind of the flow of how things are going to go. But with that being said, we're going to go ahead and go through some review, just covering other tokens that we may have seen during the series. As you can see right here, we're going to go ahead and talk about adrenaline here in a minute. And then we'll see some tokens that may have done well, since we set the alerts, and some that may not have done so well. And then we'll head into the second part, of the video today, which will be taking a look at discovery, and, utilizing the filters and seeing what's going on Dexscreener today. So with that being said, again, we're going to take a look here to adrenaline, so we can see this is actually kind of a bottomed out chart, but we can see that there have been some peaks and valleys, obviously. So the reason why I bring this up to you is because it kind of looks like, there's some activity maybe on an uptrend here. We can see here in the alerts that both of these are active, so what do we see? We saw this at 55K, and neither one of them, were triggered, either going under, for the under alert going under 30,000 or going over 70. However, there is movement, and we can see that, since I started the recording, that there's been movement in terms of the buy transactions or the transaction history, So what I like about this chart, even though we're at the bottom levels, is that even though we are getting, sell pressure, we are also still seeing, interest in terms of buy pressure. So here, even at this point, and this was today, we can see where it hit in this area here, and then there was retracement, retracement, but obviously we're still getting buys, coming in. So that's the reason why I'm bringing this one up. We talked about this one some days ago. I don't remember. I think here on the alert, we can see this was 4 days ago, okay, because we can see it was created 4 days ago. All right, and I did this, on video. So it's been some time since we've actually revisited this one, but I thought I'd go ahead and bring it back up today just to let you know that there is still some movement here. And this, area doesn't look too bad, as we can see some positives, here on the 5 minute and 1 hour. And, even on the 24 hour, and not big numbers, here in the minus, column here on the 6 hour. So continues to be one that, will stay on our alert watch list, as we continue to go and follow what's going on here with adrenaline. Now, if you're copying, the alerts, obviously you would have had this one in your alert list as well. So you can see, according to mine, I got 17, token, or 17 alerts, not 17 tokens. It's just counting the alerts, so I've got less tokens than that, but it's counting, the positive, the up alerts and the under alerts in that number. So, okay. With that being said, we're going to close this one out, and we can see here, this is Scott. We talked about this one. How many days ago was this? This was 4 days ago too. We saw this one at 221K. I really wasn't sure about this one at the start, when I saw this one, but we can see that there has been, positive movement, here on this token. So from 221, to where we're sitting at right now is 321. If this was 4 days ago, that would have been, talking about this on the 24th, so we would have talked about it, somewhere in this area. So obviously it's gone up, it made some movements, much further than where we're sitting at right now. So if you were somebody that was following this one early and decided to go ahead and take a dip into the pond, as far as putting a buy on the chart, you would have been in profits, on this one. So, but obviously at this point, there's been a lot of retracement, and so it looks like maybe it's starting to go ahead and head back up, looking at what's going on the chart right now. Okay, so with that being said, we can take a look at the alerts, for this one, and we can see that this is disabled. It did trigger, going under 175, and we're at 221 on this one. So we're actually, sorry about that, I said 321 right here. It's actually 225. So we're going to we're 225 at the current market cap, which I'm going to adjust this to 225 instead of 221. And we're right now at 175. I think I'd want maybe move this up 10. Okay, so 185 to trigger on the under, And again, for this one, not really interested in seeing it trigger on an up alert. So we're going to leave this one as it is. Okay, so here we go. We're going to close that one out. And then on meme game, we talked about this one, I believe, yesterday. So the chart looks pretty decent. All right, and we can see that we set an under alert. Now the under alert never triggered, because I think when we looked at this one, it was at 104, and I wasn't sure if it would hit 75,000. I think that might have even been my comment yesterday on the video, that I wasn't sure if it would actually hit 75, but and it didn't. So what did it continue to do from that 104? It continued to move up. So we've got a wick all the way up here, to the 500, almost 550,000. So this one, definitely made some, really good movement, yesterday, as far as the initial market cap that we saw it at, and where it went from there. So again, that just highlights, this is another example, of what we're doing here in the Dexscreener series, that we're trying to go ahead and highlight tokens, that maybe we can go ahead and spot early, through the use of the filters, find them, evaluate them, and then decide if we want to go and take a position or not. So, but yeah, so this is a good one as far as the movement. So here on the alert, 75 is unrealistic, I think, at this point, since it's currently sitting at 295. So what we're going to do, we're going to adjust this to, we're currently at 295, and this is going to be our note that we're making as far as the posted market cap. If you're brand new to the series, we go ahead and we use these notes, this note area, which is an optional area, as you go ahead and you set alerts to remind us of the actual market cap when we found a token or the token that we're setting the alert for. So just making you aware of that if you're wondering, what are we doing here in terms of this area? Okay, but if you're somebody that's been following along in the series, obviously you're already aware of what's going on here and why we're doing that. So, but here on the under, since we're sitting at 295, let's go ahead and let's make it for, 250. Okay, 250 I think is pretty reasonable. So there we go. So we've set that new under alert, and we can see now that's active. Okay, so not really, like I said, not interested in setting an up alert at this point. So I'm just interested in further retracement, and just my mindset here is that if it retraces a bit more, could be a position, it could be an entry, where maybe somebody wants to go ahead and jump in, and it could see another leg back up on the chart. So, but again, we don't know. But that's the reason why we set the alerts, because the alerts are essentially our indicators. Okay, so there we go. On that one, this one is the Elon Finger Musk token, or Finger Elon Musk token. And so for this one, the reason why I'm bringing this back up is because even though we saw this one originally, like the 100K area, and it went on to go over, I think around 1.5 million, and it's retraced heavily. What's got me still interested in this one is the fact that we're still seeing some buy pressure, here at the bottom levels. We're still sitting at a pretty reasonable market cap of 253K, which is still higher. That, let's say that, from day one, you heard, me talk about this token, the 100K area. Even if you round tripped and you never sold, you're still up, 2x. Or not, well, you're still up, yeah, you're still up 2x. So yeah. So even though we're looking at bottom levels, at this point, we're still sitting at, 253K, and that's after heavy retracement. I think it's a possibility that this could start to head back up. Maybe, but maybe not. But again, that's the reason why I'm still watching it, and adjusting the alerts as needed. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to, and we can see, last triggered, day ago, we created this alert 16 days ago, and then this one was created 7 days ago. So in 7 days ago at 285K. But what we're going to do, since this one's disabled, I'm going to keep an eye on both the under and the over. So we're going to set this at 253, which will reflect the current market cap. And for the under, we're going to do not necessarily 200K, but I think we're going to set this one a little bit higher at 220. Okay. Okay, so that one is edited, and that one is now active on the under. And then for this one, we're going to adjust the posted market cap at 253K, and we're going to go over, I don't know, let's set it for 275. All right, so there we go. Not a big deviation, from the posted market cap. All right, so there we go. Close that one out, close that one out. And this one again, Purple Doge, we continue to go ahead and keep an eye on this one. I still think this one remains an interesting one to watch. So looking at the alerts, what do we got? Posted market cap at 113. Last triggered, a day ago, so it was at 113 the last time we went ahead and we edited this one. So obviously it's still made some moves since then, since we're currently sitting at 144. All right. So now as far as the under is concerned, I think 60K for the under is unrealistic, so we're going to set this at 100 actually. There we go. And then we're going to adjust our posted market cap to reflect the current market cap at 144. So there we are. And we can see this one is active. Now for the disabled one here, that's the over alert. Let's take another look here. I still think it makes sense to go ahead and set an over on this one, so because we're not really sure, if we go ahead and we zoom in here, if this is going to go down or if it's going to go up, so right now, sometimes when you see, a few buys on the chart, it can kind of fake you out. You're thinking it's going up and then all of a sudden somebody decides to go ahead and offload a bunch of tokens. So what we're going to do, let's go here. Like I said, we need to edit the posted market cap. So we're going to do that. That's 144. And then for the over here, we don't need a large deviation, but I think 160 might give us a better idea in terms of where maybe this is going to go on the chart. So we're going to create that alert. So there we go. So we're good there. And again, I remind you guys, this is a fluid process. You're going to continue to make the adjustments as needed, so continue to monitor your alerts because when you're monitoring your alerts, you're also monitoring the charts. And if you see that alert has been triggered, you need to go back in, see what's going on, and then go back into your alerts and then adjust them as needed. Okay, so Pickle's one we talked about yesterday. This is a CTO. Now, this one's kind of interesting to me because, I'm starting to see, a little bit of buys coming in, but again, don't want to be faked out on this, so again, we're going to take a look at setting, adjusting the alerts to see where it's headed. Are we just getting some buys just for somebody to go ahead and sell, or are we getting buys and it could be the start of an uptrend? Okay, and if it's the start of an uptrend, then obviously, you want to be in, if it's me, you want to be in as early as you can to take advantage, of the possibility of the uptrend, especially if there are more buys that may be coming to the chart. So we're currently sitting at 36. We saw this one a lot higher, over 100K. So for the over, and both of them, we need to go ahead and edit the posted market cap. So we're going to set this at 36K. So here we go. All right. And we're going to, for the over, let's move this to 50K, just to kind of give us an idea in terms of whether maybe it's going to continue to move upwards. All right, and then for the under, we definitely want to go ahead and set this, so we're going to adjust this right here. And for the under, we're at 36. I think if it hits, 25, might be toast, so. All right, so, but if it does trigger the under, and it doesn't start hitting back up, I'm probably going to go ahead and remove this one. Okay, so just letting you know that one ahead of time. All right, so here on the Kiki token, we talked about this one yesterday too. We got some minuses across the board here, except for on the 24-hour, but they're not too bad. 6 hour and 20%. That's not terrible. But the chart does look like it's made some movement, since the last time we looked at it. This one, we posted this one, posted the alert yesterday at 136K. Obviously, we're sitting at just shy of 300, but that wasn't the high since yesterday. So high since yesterday, is here, and that is all just shy of 500K. Okay, so if we saw this at 136 and it went to 500K, obviously, this also reflects what we're doing here in the series, that we've seen some gains. We found something early enough where we could still go ahead and profit. So again, if you're somebody that's, creating the same alerts as I am, this is one where if you decided to go ahead and put any kind of money on the board, that this one would have been, you would have been a profit, especially if you sold, around this area. So with that being said, I still think this one has a possibility to go ahead and continue to move. So we're going to go ahead and adjust both the under and the over posted market cap alert. So here we go. So where are we at? We're at 299K. Actually, it's saying 305 because again, there's always a delay between the tab and what they're actually showing here. This will catch up, but this is actually going to be more accurate. But either way, let's go ahead and let's set this at the 305K. All right, so there we go. And, for the over, let's do not a big deviation, 325. There we go. Now that one's active. And as you can see indicated right here. And then for this one, for the under, all right, we need to adjust this. So there we go, 305K. And for the under, we're going to go to 280. Okay. 280 on the under. Actually, let's go 275 on the under. Okay. So there we go. And we can see this actually did go ahead and update over here. We're going to close it out. You can see now we're at 291. This is saying 297. So again, there are fluctuations between this and this, but there's also going to be delays. So if you're new, just highlighting that for you. But if you're somebody that's been watching these videos, you already know that. Okay, closing that one out. Bald Eagle. This is one, even though the chart doesn't look that hot right now. When we looked at it yesterday, this one I specifically remember when we went into the channel and they were doing rating, and I think they had like, you know, a pretty impressive number of likes from community engagement, from a community that was less than 50 people in it. So, you know, I mean, it was just, I was just kind of wondering like what on earth is going on, you know, with this chart where they're getting so many buys. So, and I did look into it, you know, later on after the video was done. And so I guess they got some help, you know, from somebody that was on X that also showed it to their community. So, and obviously you can still see buys on a chart. And somebody, you know, they're aware, they get the CA, but they don't ever go ahead and join the Telegram. So that could also contribute to buys on a chart, even if you don't have a lot of people in the Telegram group. So just keep that in mind as well. So, but with that being said, you know, this one, obviously, you know, where was our initial alert? It was 114K. They kind of hung around 60, 70K, even into today. You know, and so they've been up and they've been down on the chart, you know, so this obviously, you know, took place today where there were obviously some people that really just offloaded because there isn't a ton of activity in the chart. It's kind of one of those things, you know, where I think you may still continue to get some interest in this one, but it'll be slow progress on this, especially if the community and team continues to stay there. But, you know, anybody that's coming from like outside groups, you know, maybe another Telegram group or maybe an X, you know, channel, just showing it to their community. It could be, you know, a situation, you know, where they're looking at it, they decide to go ahead and buy in. If it doesn't move very quickly, then eventually people go ahead and just, you know, lose their patience for the token and they decide to go ahead and just exit, you know. So I think that's kind of what's going on here, especially even though the Telegram group for Bald Eagle, it has grown some. I think they're now like over 70 members. But like I said, you know, this isn't a chart where it's like, you know, it's looking exciting for anybody to want to go ahead and jump into. But for me personally, I'm still keeping this one on the list to watch just because, you know, you just never know. This is, I think, the official Bald Eagle, you know, token, you know, so maybe it could go up, maybe, I don't know. I mean, so we'll see. So for this one, we're going to edit the posted market cap and we're going to say 38K. All right. And then this one, I think that if it hits 25K, it's toast. So there we go. And that's going to be when it goes under. Now, I do want to set it over because I'm curious to see if this starts to make any moves. So we're setting this at 38K and we're going to go ahead and set this at 50K. I think if we can get to 50K, that might signal, you know, an uptrend, you know, so that is why I want to keep this one on my radar. So, but again, the nice thing about this is that, you know, it doesn't matter if it sits for a month and doesn't do anything. As long as the community's still there and the team's still there, if it starts to move, and even if the community, you know, does abandon it, if it starts to move, that still might be worth taking a look at, you know, as far as this token is concerned. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and close this one out, and that's going to go ahead and do it for us in terms of review. And then I'm going to go ahead and jump out of here for a minute, and then come back and we'll finish up, you know, the filters section, you know, of the video. All right, guys. So real quick, we're going to go ahead and start to head into the discovery aspect, you know, of this video. First thing I want to do, just on this main page, I see this 2025 token, so I'm kind of curious about that. But so I'm going to open that up in a tab. But we're going to go here. We're going to remove some things so I can change my view. So we're going to get rid of price, transactions, volume, and makers. And if you're new, I go ahead and I usually do this as far as the configuration is concerned, because I just don't need, you know, a lot of this information here. There's just certain things I want to focus on. I want to focus on the age, want to focus on the time frames here. Don't need to focus on liquidity because we don't ever touch liquidity. We leave it at 1,000. I'm going to take the 24-hour here so we can start with the largest gain to the lowest gain. And then we're going to go into filters. Okay, so platforms. I'm going to take a look at Solana and ETH today. It doesn't give us any DEX to go ahead and look at, you know, so you don't have to focus on this over here, especially when you choose more than one chain. Again, liquidity, we always leave that alone. Market cap, we're going to start at our standard 50K because I don't think if it can't make 50K to me, you know, it's not really worth my time to look at. Since we're looking at two chains, we're not going to go too far out on the market cap, so let's go to 250. Okay, it's 250,000. And pair age. let's look at, let's look at stuff that's fresh, so let's do 1 hour to, I don't know, let's go 30 hours, okay? 1 to 30 hours. And for the 24-hour change, we'll do 10. And keep in mind, guys, whenever I do these filters, I don't have any kind of preset, numbers in mind, before I go and do the video. I just do it, while I'm recording the video. And we adjust as we need to based on what we get in terms of the tokens that are provided to us, here. So we can see we got a lot here. So what I'm going to do, I'm actually gonna go back in here. We're gonna change the hours here. Let's go to 15 and see what that does in terms of, okay, all right, that's a little bit better. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna open some tabs up, and keep in mind, as I always like to point out to you guys, whether you're new or you've been following along, these with the question marks, they're probably scams, and every time we open them up, they typically are. So, okay, let's just go ahead and let's just check to be sure. This token's freezable, so yep, that indicates a scam. And this one right here, no socials, straight up. For the most part, it's been alive for almost 6 hours, and so this is not a normal looking chart. You can go out to the 1 minute, as well. Again, that's not typically a normal chart, so that's going to indicate a scam. So you want to always stay away from those with the question marks. Okay, so we're going to open up some other ones. Here we go. 8-man, first ever meme. Okay, well, I don't see anything over here. Catalyst. Okay, hyperpigmentation. I don't know what that is. Okay, and we're not doing that one. Hope. Let's see, we can do dumb money too. That'll work. Okay, so we got a number of them that we can go ahead and take a look at. So first thing we're going to do, I know that this was one that I wanted to go and just open up out of curiosity. So we've done that, but we're going to take a look at the rest, and we're ultimately looking at the chart, and then we're looking at looking at the socials, essentially making sure they have at least a Telegram. If they've got a Discord, that'll work, but we're not looking at Discords, through this series. But if it's one with a Discord, again, that's still helpful. But you're going to find most of your tokens are going to have they're going to have a Telegram. So here, and I think we're going to have to go maybe 5 minutes or 15 minutes, probably going to be our best bet. Okay, so we do have a Telegram here, so good. Here, Telegram, good. And this is just quick scan kind of stuff, so just as you guys follow along, I'm going to make this one 15. Yeah, 5 minutes is going to be better. Huh, well, maybe. All right, yeah, 5 minutes, fine. Okay, so here first, I think this is that first meme token. Yeah, first ever meme. Okay, we're going to go to 5 minute on this one. Yeah, that'll work out. Good. And what's this one? This one's Catalyst. So we're going to 5 minute on this. Wow. Okay. That drop right here. First thought, if you're somebody in this kind of token, you're immediately thinking you got rugged. But this one, interestingly enough, they did recover a little bit, and drop some more. So I don't know. This one, I'm not really interested in looking at just because, man, that's kind of crazy to me. And we're approaching 60% of the minus column here in the 6 hours. So we're going to get rid of this one. So this is Hope Coin. Okay, Hope Coin. All right, this one is looking pretty bottomed out to me. Could maybe be the start of an uptrend, maybe. But again, you're looking at almost 60% on that 6 hour. Not really interested in that. Looking at 5. Okay, so this one, another one where two big drops and still try to recover, but no socials. Not interested in this one. Okay, and this one we do get a Telegram, but let's take a look at the chart. Not really digging this chart. Not digging this chart at all. Just looking at what we got going on here. This to me, I don't really care for charts like this, especially when it's just something that I don't know that I can really articulate it on a chart like this. But what I'm seeing here doesn't look like the kind of chart that I would typically take an interest in or want to take a position in. And that's just after looking at so many charts over an extended duration of time, in this space. This does not look like a healthy chart to me. It doesn't look like a safe chart to me, either. It doesn't look like what I would normally, be interested in. So, but again, this is called dumb money, so maybe if there's somebody that wants to go ahead and take a closer look at this one, because I'm not going to here in the video, you can do that on your own. Just go ahead and copy the name. You see what the market cap is, and you can see what's going on here. You want to match this stuff up, so when you go to search, you're going to go ahead and paste it in, and then it'll bring up any dumb money tokens. So what are we looking at? We're looking at 111K, and we're also looking at 61%, 61.96 on the 24 hour. That tells you this is the right token. So you click on that, and there you go. Okay, so we're going to close this one out, and let's go back over here And let's open up let's see what else we got. Perby, let's look at you. King of Chemo, okay, and Seal. Let's see what's going on there. So we got 3 more. This one, no Telegram. This one, no Telegram. And this one, Save the Seal. This one, I saw a Save the Seal token, but it wasn't on the 28th, so this is a different one. Some days ago, and that one actually did pretty well. So I don't really know if there's like a seal meta going on right now that I'm not aware of. But this one looks a little bit, healthier than that other chart that I told you about, where it's like, hey, I couldn't really articulate it, but it just didn't look like the kind of chart to be interested in. So this one does look better, in my personal opinion. So even going out to the 1 minute, so yeah, we'll go and we'll take a look, real quick on that one. But here we go. Let's move on to the 2025. So this one's one I want to go ahead and, look at just to kind of see what's going on in the channel. These New Year's tokens, going on, that's the current meta right now. And obviously, it's pretty obvious, going to the new year. So if you see a 2025 token, just like I saw one, that's probably going to be something that I'm going to be curious to at least take a look at. Don't know if it'd be something I'd want to take a position in, but at the end of the day, I'd be curious enough, especially if the chart looks decent, just to take a look and see what's going on. So we're going to click here on the Telegram, and we're going to go in. All right, this will make it faster for us to access each channel. So here we go. We're going to tap to verify, and we get this. Okay, so we're verifying. Okay, we got over 1,800 members in the group, so pretty active. They got a VC scheduled in 3 days, so I'm guessing, on New Year's they're going to go ahead and open up a VC. So we'll see if they last that long. So I like the fact it looks like they got a countdown. They've got, some rating going on. Okay, and buys are coming in pretty quickly. So those are they're very recent buys. And so if we look at the pinned messages, they are paying money to go ahead and get more exposure for this. So yeah, this is one I would absolutely, without question, be interested in setting some alerts for. So here, the entry I don't think would be is terrible. If it was me, I'd probably go ahead and make small buy, maybe $5 on this one, just because I think that even though there's a lot of activity right now, you still have to consider we're 3 days away, from New Year's, and so into the other New Year's that we've talked about, their volume has slowed down. Do I think their volume is going to go ahead and pick up, as we, get a day away from New Year's? Yeah, probably. So this one right now just touched 1 million. We're at 998. Even though there's activity right now, do I think this is going to retrace? I believe it will retrace. That's going to be my gut feeling on this one, just because we're still days away, from New Year's. And so when you see a chart like this, especially on a holiday token, when you're weeks out, it's, you're going to see an initial spike and then retracement. When you're days out, this one's not going to continue to go ahead and just spike up, at least I don't believe it's going to. And I say that, cautionary, just based on my experience and what I've seen, in a lot of tokens. This will come back down, is my belief, on this one. And, it's going to settle. Right now, I think it's just the initial, there's a lot of activity right now because it's a newer token, but it'll settle, so that's why we're going to set the alerts. So we're at 998 or 960. So we're going to go immediately to market cap, and under is what I'm going to go ahead and set here. We're going to go ahead and set this at 850. Now that and this is the large deviation, from currently from where it is. And we're at 946. So it's continued to retrace. Right? So, like I said, I believe based on what I've seen in a lot of charts, it'll continue to come back down. Now there's going to be a balance between buys and sells, but I don't think you're going to see this hit like 2 million today. I don't think that at all. Now, but the closer we get to New Year's, if this chart's still alive, if this token's still alive, if the team is still behind it and they're still investing, in trying to get exposure for it, yeah, I do think that, it'll probably it'll start to continue to move. But I think this one's going to come down. So that's just my own personal feeling. And again, you can take that with a grain of salt. I tell you guys, don't just go ahead and take what I say and then just, decide to jump into a token because, you're taking what I say as a guarantee. I make no guarantees whatsoever in terms of what I tell you. Everything's just based on what I see and what I think, and when I say that to let you know. Don't go ahead and look at it and be like, hey, well, you told me it was going to go ahead and do this. I'm not telling you anything like that. I'm telling you what I think. It's a possibility. There's a chance. Okay. But you got to go ahead and make, your own decision, from there. This is what I'm setting in terms of my own alerts. If you're, You know, if you're copying alerts, you set the alert at what you feel like, you know, you're comfortable with, but I'm comfortable setting this at 850 as far as the under alert. Okay, so I'm going to create that alert, and then, you know, for the over, here we go, 946, okay, and for the over, I don't know, we're sitting right now we're at 854, so what did I tell you? I'm glad we're even seeing this right now. Told you I thought this was going to come down. So it came down, it didn't trigger the 850, you know, because now it's at 872, but like I said, it's probably going to continue. It may even come down some more, honestly. So here we'll set the over, you know, at, let's say, I don't know, 930. Okay, so we'll do that. And I think maybe because there's so much movement right now and so many changes going on in terms of the market cap, I'll probably come back in and I will probably adjust these alerts, you know, personally, you know, once I'm done with the video. Okay, so we're going to leave that one alone. So here, this is IANA, and we're sitting at 186, you know, on the market cap. All right, so we see 186 here, but then you also see this weird, you know, 9 zeros. That's what that little 9 there is for. The number of zeros, I think. At least that's what I believe it is. And then we see 4432. You know, so obviously that doesn't translate to, you know, what we're seeing here at the 186, you know, but there are the tokens, you know, where we see it translates really well in terms of what we see here and then what we see here. But we're going to go into the Telegram. We're going to see what's going on. So here we go. We get a portal. Great. All right, we're going to click start, and there we go. There we go. Okay, so here we go. We just submitted our request to IANA and CoinGecko. Great. All right, so when do we see any kind of buys? So they're trending. We see a buy here at 187, 187K, and it says at 1258. So that was 3 minutes ago. Let's see if they got anything else going on in terms of pinned messages. Okay, so this is obviously a Matt Fury token. You know, I mean, it looks okay. Do I think that this is one worth setting some alerts for? I mean, they're trending. You know, I don't see any rating going on, but at least they're trending. So that'd be good enough for me to go ahead and say I'm going to set some alerts. So 194 is where we're at. Okay, so we're going to go to market cap here. Actually, let me see this again. I think this is going to go down. So I'm more interested in seeing the under alert than the over. So I'm going to go ahead and just set the under. I'm not going to set an over. So here we go, under. We're at 192. And, okay. So where are we at? 192, 182. Let's go ahead and let's set this at, let's do 150. So kind of a large deviation from where we're currently at, but, you know, I think that's okay. So 192K. All right, so there we go. That alert is set. Great. So, and then here we got the Watt, and this is also another Matt Fury token. We're going to go ahead and take a look at the channel. So here we go. And we're going to tap to verify. Okay, we got our link. Great. All right, so here we go. So they welcome me into the community, and I need to see when was the last buy on this one. So we're sitting at 103 on my clock. Let's see, 1257. So, I mean, we're still within that window, that 10-minute window for me. I like to see buys within a 10-minute window. They're trending. Anything else going on here? Okay. So I don't see, okay, all right, they got Moon Talk as well. I mean, so it does look like they're making an investment in the token to at least grow the exposure of the token. So minuses don't look bad here. I'm on the 5 minute and the 1 hour, so we're good here. All right, we are sitting at 67. And see, this one did the same thing here in the tab. So, all right, 67, and let me take a look at this again. I'm more interested, I'm gonna set both on this one because this could go down, it could go up. Well, it went down, okay, so here we go. And you see how it went down, and this didn't change right away. Now it's at 60, so we go straight to market cap, goes under, and we're seeing this at 60K. So I'm going to set this at 45K on the under, and then on the over, over, and we want to put this at 60K. Oops, not 6K, man. Okay, so on the over, let's set this at 80K. Okay, so there we go. All right, so we're good on that one. So we're going to close this one out. And then Ape Man, this one looks like another Matt Fury, but I don't know. Okay, so I don't know. So I was saying Matt Fury on it. We see a minus 15 on the 1 hour. That's not terrible, but let's take a look at what's going on there in their community. Okay, so we get the portal here. Give us our link. There we go, just over 360 members here. So last buy was at 104. That was just a minute ago. We got some rating going on. All right, so yeah, I don't see any trending going on. They updated their Dex tools. Okay, Dex was paid, so I mean there's an investment there, which is good. Ownership renounced. Okay, so we do see that they've got some rating going on, but that's about it. So that's not a lot to go ahead and keep a token moving, unless they're really getting a ton of engagement, from the community. So I'm more inclined to think this is going to come down before it goes back up, so I am actually going to just set an under alert on this. And for you may want to go ahead and set an over and an under. I think when I started the series, I said it made sense to go ahead and set both. But as we've gone through it, there are tokens where it doesn't make sense to set both. It may only make sense to go ahead and set one, depending on where the token is on the chart and on its market cap. So for this one, we're going to set the under, and we're going to set this one at 65K. That's where I want to set it at. Again, you guys can set your alerts at where you feel comfortable with. 84K is where I'm comfortable setting that at. Okay, so there we go. That's on 8man. And then for this one, the first ever meme. Let's see here. So this is sitting at 88K. We got a little bit of a, just minus 12 on the 1 hour. Let's take a look, what's going on in the community, and then we'll have a better idea in terms of where we want to go as far as any alerts are concerned. So there we go. We're going to go ahead and verify so we can get in, as always. So we get just over 880 members in the group here. Last buy was at 106, but you can't talk in the channel, which you guys know I am not a fan of that. So, because I mean, you gotta allow people to go ahead and talk, in these channels. So even though there are buys coming in, we've seen this before. I think, if you don't have an open channel, it's not like, it can't continue to go up, but you want there to be a catalyst, for why, the chart continues to get buys. So, I mean, right now, what do people do? They tend to follow buys, right? Following buys does not, mean a lot of sustainability. Good grief, I can't get that out for the token. But yeah, I mean, they are getting, some interest, for whatever reason. So, I don't know. So this is hot 3 now, and what's this on? This is on Dex tools, so, okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll come on back out here. So yeah, they're getting some buys, but I think this one's probably going to go ahead and come down, so I'm going to set an alert for this one, and we're going to go ahead and do the market cap goes under, and we're at 103 is what we're showing. Okay, so 103K. And I think this one's probably going to retrace quite a bit at some point. So I'm going to go to 75. So that is a large deviation, from where our posted market cap is, but I believe it's coming down. That's just that's just how I'm seeing it. Now if you believe something else, that's on you. But I personally think this one's going to come back down. Okay, so, and here, save the seal. Let's take a look at what's going on in the channel for this one. Okay, and this is Chinese, so we're going to translate to English. So, okay, and just looking for basically a portal here, and we are not seeing a portal. So no portal on this one, so that's a no-go for me. Okay, so this one we're not going to worry about. But with that being said, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for us, in terms of today's video. But as always, we're going to continue to explore Dexscreener daily, or as often as we can, to go ahead and discover some new opportunities, for early tokens, where we can maybe, get in early enough, should you decide to go ahead and jump in. That we never encourage you to invest in the channel, but we know you're also you're engaging with crypto content, so that probably means you're going to jump into some tokens. But just know, I've got to go ahead and say it, as far as a disclaimer, that we never encourage you to invest. So, but we're certainly, thankful that you continue to follow along in the series. And if you know somebody that can gain some value out of what's being shared in this series, since there have been several examples, of tokens that have been spotted early and where we've seen gains on many different videos, in the series, go ahead and share the channel, share the series. Make sure you subscribe if you're not yet subscribed, so we can go ahead and continue to, benefit from being informed together. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Enjoy the rest of your day.